Alright, this is a video to show you how to glue up your lamp. So I'm starting here with my dry fit lamp. The important part is that you make sure that you have each one of these miters so that they are tight. So you want to double check, make sure that each miter on both sides of your lamp has a tight fit in these spots. And when you know that they're tight, then you're ready to glue it up. So before you start gluing it up, you want to make sure that you have everything ready. Now, I'm going to take this apart, and I want to make sure that I put these pieces back in the exact same spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to number all of these corners here. You can see some of these I already have a number on that I needed to fix, so I'll start with those. This is the number 2. So I'm going to put a number on each one of these all the way around. So this is number 3. And I can sand these off later. This is 4. I'm going to make sure this one was 1. Yep. Flip it over and then keep going. So I'm up to 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now when I take this apart, I'll know which one of these parts fit together at each one of these joints. So now that I have them numbered, I'm going to very carefully take this apart. I have my glue ready. I have a couple of extra rubber bands. I already have 2 rubber bands on here, but I'm going to put on 2 on each side. And then I have some extra tape lined up down here in case I need that too. You want to make sure everything's in order before you start gluing it, because when the glue is wet, it starts to dry, and you want to have time to do it. So you want to do this at the beginning of class so that you're not rushed. So I have plenty of time right now. So I'm going to try to take this apart and keep all my parts in order. I'll save this tape down here. Right. So I'm going to try to just unfold this so I keep all the parts in order. But if for some reason it fell apart and all the parts got mixed up, I have those numbers on them so I know where they go. So, take these all apart. I've got them all lined up here. I'm going to space these out a little bit so I can get to those parts. Get the glue on there. Alright, so I have it disassembled. I have it all lined up. Alright, so now I'm ready to start applying my glue. So I'm going to apply the glue at each one of these joints, and I'll show you up close. Everywhere there's going to be contact. Like before, you don't want too much glue, but you want it to be wet in most places. So you want a nice thin layer of glue up like that. So that'll be enough glue for that. You don't need to put glue on the square dowel parts because they'll have glue connected from here. So I'm just going to take my frame pieces and I'm just going to put glue on that miter and on this rabbet. I'm going to do that all the way along here. Taking my time to do a good job to make sure that I get glue on it, but there's not too much glue because then you know it'll be messy later. Miss this one. Back. just on the miter parts and the rabbets. So I'm going to double check this. I have it here, 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 here. I missed the beginning one, so I'm going to go do that one. Alright, now I'm going to take a look here to make sure I have glue in all the right places. There and there, there and there. I'll make sure this is spread out a little bit. I can put my finger, I can wash that off afterwards. Make sure that I have a good amount of glue. Got a wet paper towel here so I can do some cleanup afterwards. Alright, now that everything has glue on it, I'm ready to reassemble this, just like I did before. So you want to make sure that you take your time and that you are putting the same joints back together so you can look at the numbers that you put on here and to make sure that your frame parts are fitting the right way. Because once it's glued, if you have some parts turned around, you're going to have trouble because there's no taking it apart again. I'm going to leave this like this so I know where these parts go. So I'm going to look at the number. So I have these numbered before. This is the number 2. So I'm going to make sure that I have that in the same spot, number 2, on this one. Actually, it goes the other way. So there's the number 2, and there's the number 2. And I'm going to put a second rubber band on here to make sure that this is clamped very tight. And I'm going to make sure I push these joints together. And make sure that there aren't any gaps here. So you might have a little bit of glue coming out, but that's good. I put a second rubber band on this one. And then I'll push these. Then I check these joints, and they're all tight. There might be a little bit of glue coming out, but they all look good. And then I wait until tomorrow. Alright, when you're finished, you might have some glue that is on the table. So you want to clean up afterwards. You can get a wet paper towel and a dry paper towel, and then you want to find any glue that spilled out of your joints and just wipe it up and dry off the table.